Hmm. Well, hey there. Welcome to the porch 321. We're here in Melbourne, Florida, on the Space Coast in Florida. And today we are going to talk about home insurance, right? I'm Sylvia Poor, and I'm a Coldwell Banker Realtor. And of course, I am joined by the other cohorts and colleagues of mine.
I'm
Linda
Sherry
Hollington.
Darmeen.
Sorry. I am Linda Hollington from Coldwell Banker.
So we got Sherry Darmeen, Linda Hollington, and Sylvia Poor from Coldwell Banker Realty. And it's a pleasure to be with you. We're going to talk about home insurance. It has been a real problem in Florida. And so last week, we realtors we had a call to action, and it was to address Florida's property insurance crisis that is just spiraling further and further and further out of control.
Yeah.
The name of the bill is Senate Bill 2D. You can Google it. And it's from the Florida Appropriations Committee led by Senator Boyd. And it's now law because last Thursday, the 26th, DeSantis, our governor, signed it into law. And I really suggest that you homeowners in Florida that have, are watching this, that you do Google it, get in there and copy at least the summary, read through the summary, and things that apply to you or that you're worried about in there, then you could dig a little deeper. But it is a law you need to know about. And there is no way we could cover it successfully on our few minutes here. So just a word of advice is to look it up.
Yes, that's correct, Linda, because it is a lengthy law, and the bill includes a variety of reform measures designed to reduce frivolous lawsuits and crack down on roofing scams, provide reassurance relief, a type of insurance for insurers when they face heavy claims, and empower property owners to harden their homes against storms. Unfortunately, the previous sentence with cracking down on roofing scams is a big one.
Yeah.
Right. And there's so much in there, but a lot of it is including how your claims after storms are handled and litigation for that. And another thing that's important is solicitations by roofers after hurricanes, of trying to get jobs, saying your roof is bad, you needed a roof, those kind of things. There's reforms to the CAT fund, which is the Florida Hurricane Catastrophe Fund. So there's reforms to how that money is going to be managed. And they're even reaching out to Florida homeowners' gardening practices and what they're going to offer there. So there's a ton of stuff there.
Yeah, and the factors behind this crisis are causing insurers to non-renew policies, dramatically increase premiums, and in some cases, they leave the state or become insolvent. Ultimately, the crisis is making the dream of home ownership practically unattainable.
Right. And well, this crisis has become unbearable for the people that we work for, which is you. We're realtors, and our purpose is to find you, our customers, the best home at the best price that you can afford. And the current state of affairs regarding insurance is just about to blow home ownership and buying and selling process out of reach for many folks. And this crisis affects us all. I mean, it really does.
And I think they've done a fine job with this, all the things they have in here. There's all kinds of different programs. One is a RAP program to assist the insurers. And you say, why assist the insurers? You don't want your insurer to go broke. You know, we have a major storm and it breaks their back. You don't want that to happen. So the lawmakers have even put things in there to help with reimbursement for them to keep them strong, because we definitely need them. There's what they're calling My Safe Home program. It's assessing the wind mitigation inspections they want done, and roof claims, and how the claims are going to be handled, and cases of breach of contract with these claims. So there's all kinds of stuff pertaining to that. They're also created a property insurer stability unit. That's another thing that's supporting the insurers. And then I already mentioned the CAT fund reform, the catastrophe reform there.
And the greater claim transparency for policyholders, home hardening grants to Florida homeowners, and roofing contract disclosures.
Yeah, the home hardening grants to Florida homeowners. Now that goes, well, it's effective July 1st. 150 million is appropriated to provide hurricane mitigation inspections and matching grants to help Floridians afford home hardening improvements to their homestead single-family residence with an insured value of at least $500,000 or less.
Right.
The home must be located, of course, in a wind-borne debris region, and the application for initial construction must have been made prior to 2008. But the program provides $2 in grants for every $1 provided by the homeowner. Applicants may receive up to $10,000 in program money. Now, this builds on, but it is different from the $1 from the sales tax exemption on impact-resistant windows, doors, and garage doors that is now the law.
Yeah, the roofing contractor disclosure prohibits written contractors' solicitations that encourage consumers to make property insurance claims for roof damage unless the solicitation provides that the consumer is responsible for the payment of any deductible. It is insurance fraud punishable as a felony for a contractor to pay or waive insurance deductible. It is an insurance fraud punishable as a felony to intentionally file an insurance claim containing false, fraudulent, or misleading information.
About time.
And the roof reform actually is really good. They're really on top of this here because they were putting in much stricter reforms, and this one, it's much better. They're unable to refuse you an insurance policy just on the age of your roof. And it's now 15 years instead of 20 average. But they can't refuse you just on that. Even if it's 15-year-olds, they must allow you to have it inspected.
Exactly.
And see if it's if they're still have more useful life to the roof. That wasn't happening here a few months ago.
No.
They were having none of that. If the company wants to inspect the damage in person, instead of letting you sit there with a blue tarp for 2 years, they have to be there within 45 days to inspect it. I don't think there was a limit before on them. I think it was just when they got to it. So now they have to be there within 45 days. So that's another good one. And they can give you a separate roof deductible on your policy. It can't exceed more than 2% of the cost of the roof. And there's a limit to it, 50% of the roof. But you can separate that from in your policy if you want to cover the roof. So you can deal with it separately and not with everything all at the same time. That's another good idea. And then the roof deductible provision, then it'll be clear and allowing policyholders to opt out from the deductible if they want to, So, and there's more on the roof in there. There's a ton more, but that's just some of the good things. I think they really thought through this really well.
Which
And
I'm glad they have, because that broad stroke of just saying, well, if the roof is 12 years old, we're not going to insure you, really was terrible. I mean, that was causing a lot of problems. And so I'm so glad that they jumped in and really got into some of the parts that will make this easier for everybody to live the American dream, so to speak.
And now that it's broke down like this, they can build on it because before it was so broad, it was difficult. So that's Senate Bill 2D, and if you Google it, it's right there. You can look at all of it if you want to. And up in the right-hand corner, that is where the summary is. You can click on that, and it'll give you a little summary of it, so.
Right. And we suggest you do that so that you are informed as to what these updates are. As you're shopping or listing or whatever, you'll know what's happening now and not be so zeroed in on, well, is it 12 years? You know, that kind of thing. Realize that you can get an inspection, so.
And now you have to realize too, Florida's not the only one that has catastrophes.
Right.
I mean, we have just heard about them over and over, all in all states, in all ways, floods, fires, everything. So insurance
Right.
companies are going to have to step up like everybody else has to with,
Yeah.
and the states with covering costs of these things. And I'm so happy to see that in Florida.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, thank you, ladies. I think that about covers it. I mean, we just scratched the surface. Like you said, Linda, it's a very,
Yeah.
very long bill.
It is. It has a lot in it. They put a lot of thought in.
But if people
Right.
can go pull the summary, and at least we're bringing it to the attention that this is passed, and my goodness, we're in desperate, desperate need for this. So, but that's great. And ladies, next week, we will be bringing something else to the forefront for folks, for us to discuss and to get folks in on it. And Sherry,
And in the meantime, since you're watching our YouTube, please do us a favor and subscribe and like us, and then go to Facebook and like us there too. We appreciate it.
Thanks for
Yes.
joining us.
Thank you. Have a great week.